Good morning and thank you for tuning in. This is Walter Mithkite reporting for GNN, the Gielinor News Network. IRONMAN adventurers are abuzz this morning, and they have been given another method to obtain revenant ether. Used to charge wilderness weapons and bracelets of Ethereum, IRONMAN previously found it too difficult to keep those items topped off, especially when you factor in the danger of the adventurers who engage in outright murder in the wilderness. So, where are IRONMAN getting this newfound ether? From Edgeville's very own Emerson Limb Trader, who is live with us now. Emerson, thank you for joining us today.
Oi. Sorry, Walter. I prefer to go by Im.
So, you want me to call you Limb Trader?
Yeah, mate. You can call me Limb Trader. So, what did you want to ask me about?
Well, I was just telling our viewers about the new source of Ethereum that IRONMAN are enjoying. They say that they're getting it from you. How is that so?
Ah, yes, of course. I've recently given adventurers the option to trade the emblems dropped by revenants into me for ether, alongside the regular option of gold. Honestly, I can't believe any of them are taking me up on the offer. IRONMAN are the only ones going for it. Idiots.
Really? How much ether are you giving them?
Here, let me send this graphic to your team.
Hey, Weave, can you pull that up?
All right. You should have it now. Essentially, I'm giving adventurers 1 ether for every 500 coins they would have gotten in my normal offer. Are they dumb? You can buy ether for under 200 coins on the Grand Exchange. I know I was a bureaucrat with a cushy high-paying job already, but now I can be one that skims a little on the side, too.
Look, IRONMAN aren't dumb. They are... Shoot, what did my mom call me? Special! They are special. The reason they are taking you up on this offer is because of how they get their title. They cannot trade with other players or use the Grand Exchange. Outside of slaying revenants, you are the only other way to get ether. So, hold on. What's this about skimming a little bit?
Well, you see, Walter, normally, Jagex gives me 1 billion or so coins to go out to the Revenant Caves on the Bounty Hunter worlds to exchange for the ancient artifacts people are bringing to me. For some reason, IRONMAN kept asking me to exchange them for ether, so finally, I bought a whole bunch of ether off the Grand Exchange for at most 200 coins each. Now, whenever one of those iron memes trades me an emblem for some ether, I trade it to Jagex then, and I pocket that normal payout. I'm making at least a 300 GP spread on every piece of Revenant ether that I trade to these goofs.
Wow, that is some entrepreneurialism. Sorry, did you say that you were a bureaucrat? I never knew that.
What do you mean? Of course I work for the Justice Administration and Governors of Exchange. Why else would I be out here? All the wilderness bosses, revenants, resource area workers, and the zombie pirates are all on Jagex's payroll. 15 years ago, adventurers may have fought for the glory and honor of the sport, but these days, adventurers need a reason to come into this area where murder is legal. Even Yuri is in on it with the clue steps he leaves around Gielinor that point adventurers out this way.
Wait, so all of you are on Jagex's payroll? I guess when you work in journalism, folks, you shouldn't be surprised when you learn a thing or two on the job. Thank you for your detailed explanation this morning, Em, but sadly, we have to cut to our interview here and move on to our next story. But first, a word from our producer, Weave.
Hey there, folks. No updates this week, only an admission. You see, last week I said that I was taking my, yes, I'll shamelessly say this, deserved break after maxing and clearing the Inferno. Well, here's the deal. I said I was, playing Fallout London during that break. In truth, I booted the game up once on my comm orb. I've been addicted to the IRONMAN journey that I started when I was finishing up maxing a couple months ago. I'll take a break to avoid burnout and play some Fallout this week while I craft some blood runes in Zaya. I promise. I want to make sure that I'm chomping at the bit to get into the new areas that the Varlamore Tourist Bureau is letting us access on the 23rd of July. So I need to take a break whether or not I want to. Also, I want to put out another video on this channel at least every other week. The production value will be lower, but it's not going to be slop. quality matters a lot to me, and I think I've landed on an idea. The only reason I want to make more content is because of viewers like you that engage with what I make. So thank you to all of you that leave comments, like, and subscribe to this broadcast. Back to you at the desk, Walter.
Thank you, Weave. Speaking of the clues Im was talking about, another story just came across our desk. Watson's pet mimic is now able to be seen by adventurers that failed to be lucky enough to receive a mimic casket. If adventurers open 9 master caskets or 24 elite caskets without receiving a mimic casket, they will receive on their 10th master or 25th elite casket a reward that has a mimic casket. I know many adventurers will appreciate this change as they are typically waiting for that track to unlock their comm orb before they can head to Relica and pick up their music cape, which I've heard Weave insists is very useful for doing the fallow clue scroll steps. It's also worth mentioning that last week, as the scroll boxes were introduced by Yuri and Watson, that there is an additional scroll case you can get to increase the amount of scroll boxes you can carry by 1 by slaying the mimic. So, if you haven't gotten a mimic yet, and you're on the edge, you may be close, if you can just get 1 more master or elite done. Finally, on to that interview now. Many of you were saddened to see that Count Check had fallen on hard times. We tracked him down and were able to get this follow-up interview. I have our ground team live with him now. Count Check, thanks for agreeing to this follow-up interview. How are you doing?
Walter, I am doing amazing. After I spoke with you, I sold my soul rune position out and I put everything on a risk fighter.
Oh my goodness. Wait, is that even legal? No. The last time we talked, you were gonna get your act together.
I did get my act together right after I became a billionaire. I told you I could stop gambling on the market whenever I wanted. I got rich the old-fashioned way, getting lucky. Now I get to stay home with my little kids. My wife has all the clue scroll uniques she could want, and we are enjoying our new home in Darkmire.
Look, on one hand, Count Check, I am glad that you're doing well, but I cannot help but feel like you didn't learn your lesson here.
What lessons do I need to learn? I'm set for life. Walter, you're nothing but a drag. That's it. This interview is over. You aren't worth my time, and I've got a smoking hot date with my wife throwing tomatoes at the blood tithes in front of Castle Dracan.
Well, I hope you folks are happy with how the Count is doing. Anyways, our next segment is a series of public service announcements. Our very own Weave is back to present these announcements to you.
Hey guys, I'm back to give you a couple pointers that even someone like me, who's maxed with an Infernal Cape, needs to know. Some adventurers were saddened to see that their warning button for depositing worn equipment inside of TOA is pushed back at least another week. First, I wanted to encourage you. You're not alone. Many folks, yes, even people like me, again, maxed Infernal Cape, have bad clicks. Instead of getting better, what I want you to do is to ignore the problem and cover it up with a plugin. I mean, look at what it's done for me. The bank plugin on RuneLite has a disable left-click bank equipment box. Make sure it's checked. Just like that, you'll no longer misclick and deposit your entire equipment and have to melee the wardens with nothing but a Void Waker. This plugin also saves you from having to re-gear if you accidentally hit the deposit equipment button if you were out there in the world grinding. I think I initially installed this plugin while I was training runecrafting. My second bit of advice is for folks who haven't maxed yet but like leveling their skills. Focusing on the XP going up can be nice, but eventually you may get bored of the numbers going up, especially if it's slow. Instead, one thing I did that I found incredibly helpful was to set goals that got me incidental experience. For agility, I still had plenty of Ardoon rooftop laps to run at the end when I didn't have the attention to do Hallowed Sepulchre, but the first 96 levels flew by as I was getting collection logs at the April Toll course, the Brimhaven Agility Dungeon, getting personal bests in the Hallowed Sepulchre, and even when the Varlamore Worm Agility course came out, I was able to get the green log there. Not only did this get me a bunch of collection logs, but it broke the large goal up into milestones that I could achieve weekly and in a lot of cases, even daily. But if there is one piece of advice I can give, which is appropriate for TOA, maxing, or anything in Gielinor, it is that if you're not enjoying the content you're doing and the grind is making you feel burnt out, to move on to something else. As the great, wise philosopher Wild Mudkip once said, it's better to play inefficiently while having fun than to play efficiently and burn out. And Hey, odds are, if you're moving from one boss, raid, or skill to another that you find more enjoyable, you're still making progress on your account. That's enough public service announcements for today. And with that, our broadcast is over. For the first time, I get to take us off the air for the day. This has been Weave for GNN, signing off.